Good morning. Today we are going to learn nested loops. The last session we discussed the loops, types of loops, and we practiced example programs using the loops. Today we are going to learn nested loops. All of you know the loops. Loop is a block of statement or set of instructions executed repeatedly finite time, or else we can say loop is a block of statements. That block of statements are executed repeatedly until the condition is false. Until the condition becomes false, it executes the block of statements repeatedly. By using the loops, we can reduce the length of the program, we reduce the size of the program and complexity of the program, and we will save the time. Now we are going to learn nested loops. We know that nested if-else statements. While we are discussing the control statements, we discussed the topic nested if-else. If you recall that topic, the nested if is within the if block or else block, again writing the one more if-else statement is called the nested if-else statements. Within the if block or else block, writing one more if-else statement is called nested if-else statements. In the same manner, the nested loops are writing the loops inside a loop is called the nested loops. In C language, it is possible to write a loop within another loop. In C language, there is a provision to write a loop within the another loop. That means within inside the loop, we can write the one more loop. That provision is available in the C language. This method, this scenario is called the nested loops. Nested loop construct as an outer loop and a subsequent loop is called a inner loop. The general form of nested loop is for loop. The for loop is begins some of the statements or instructions we will write. After writing some of the instructions or may not, you can write some of the instructions statements. For example purpose, we are showing some of the statements. Inside the for loop, again we are writing one more for loop. This for loop begins. Inside the for loop, again we are writing some set of instructions that are called statements. The inner for loop is closed. Then outer for loop is closed. This first for loop is called the outer loop. The second for loop is called the inner loop. We are writing the for loop, we are writing one loop inside the loop. That's why we are calling inner loop. These statements are called inner loop statements. In between these curly braces followed by the inner loop are called inner loop statements. These are called from outer loop curly braces to end of the curly braces. In between these two curly braces, the statements are called outer loop statements. The outer loop, the first loop is called the outer loop. Inside the loop is called the inner loop. This is the general form of the nested loop. Now we will discuss how the flow of execution will done. As we know that a loop is a block of statements. These block of statements are executed repeatedly until the condition is becomes false. That may be n number of times the block of statements are executed repeatedly, n times. Once the flow of execution, the control reaches to the outer for loop, it enter into the loop and it is execute the instructions of the outer loop. The one of the instruction in the outer loop is for loop again, inner loop. The inner loop also executed repeatedly. As we know that the definition, the purpose of the loop is it is a block of statements. These block of statements are executed repeatedly until the condition becomes false. The same rules are applicable for the inner loop. That's why whenever it executes the inner for loop, the control reads the inner for loop. The inner for loop body, inner for loop statements executed repeatedly until the condition becomes false. After the condition becomes false, it exits from the inner for loop. After exiting the inner for loop, it executes the following instructions of that inner for loop, and after executing the statements, it reaches the end of the outer for loop. Then the control passes to the beginning of the outer for loop. Now the control is passes to the outer for loop. It checks the condition. If the condition is true, it enter into the for loop again. This process is repeated until the condition is becomes false. The nested for loop, the complexity of the program will increase If you write more loops, if you write more loops inside the loops, then the complexity of the program will increase. We can't understand easily. Very difficult to understand the program if the nesting levels are more. It means that if you write a loop inside a loop, that is the first level. If you write the two more loops, two levels, then it is very difficult to understand the program if the nesting levels. If you write a loop inside that loop, if you write one more loop again, if you write a loop inside that loop again, it is very difficult. A loop is there. If you write a B loop inside the A, again B loop is there inside the B loop. If you write the C loop inside the C loop, if you write D loop inside the D loop, if you write E loop, the levels of the is 5 levels, nested levels. It is very difficult to understand the program, to analyze the program. The programmer will get confused. These are the complexities problems of the nested loops. Remember these 2 points. The complexity of the program will increase while using the nested loops, and it is very difficult to understand the program if the nesting levels are more. 1 or 2 levels, it is not a problem. If you increase number of levels, nesting levels, it is becomes a problem. Now we will see a simple program using the nested loop. Here hash include stdio.h main function int I comma j declaring the integer variables. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. The for loop is begin. Within the for loop, one printf statement is there. One more for loop is written. For j is equal to 1, j less than or equals to 3, j plus plus. Within the inner for loop, one printf is there. This is the program. Now the expected output is I am in outer loop iteration 1. I am in inner loop j equal to 1, 2, 3. I am in outer loop iteration 2. I am in inner loop j equal to 1, j equal to 2, j equal to 3. Now we will see the output. We will execute the program. In the C compiler, we will check how the flow of execution is going on. Click on the file menu, open the new file. Now type the program hash include stdio.h. This is the standard input output header file. Main function beginning of the C program int I comma j semicolon declaring the integer variables. For loop begins I equals to 1 semicolon I less than or equals to 5 semicolon I plus plus this one. This is the outer for loop. Inside this for loop I am writing the printf double quotes backslash n I am in outer loop. I am in outer loop, comma, the iteration of that loop. Iteration is percentage %d double quotes comma I. This is the next. We are writing the one more loop inside the loop. This is the inner for loop. We call it as a inner for loop. I j equal to 1 semicolon j less than or equals to 3 semicolon j plus plus this one. The inside the inner for loop we are writing one printf here double quotes backslash n backslash t I am in inner loop. We are printing j value here. J is equal to percentage d double quotes comma j semicolon. We did one mistake here. Instead of typing backslash I typed r symbol. End of this line we are closing the inner for loop. This is the closing braces for the inner for loop. To understand easily we will give some spaces to this. This is the closing braces for the outer for loop. This is the closing braces for main function. Here this is the program. Now we will save the program. Click on the file menu, save option. Now type the name is nested dot c. Now nested one dot c. Okay, compile the program. Alt plus F9. Compilation is successful with 0 errors. Run the program. Control plus F9. Program executed successfully. To see the output, Alt plus F5. User screen. Yes, this is the output. Now if you observe the output here, I am in outer loop. First iteration 1. In the first iteration of the outer loop, it entered into the outer loop and it executed the inner for loop. The second line, I am in inner loop j equal to 1. Third line, I am in inner loop j equal to 2. Fourth line, I am in inner loop j equal to 3. For the first iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop executed completely 3 times, 3 iterations. For the second iteration of the outer loop, I am in outer loop iteration 2, the inner for loop again executed 3 times. For the third iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop again executed 3 times. For the fourth iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop again executed 3 times. For the fifth iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is executed again 3 times. For every iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is completely executing 1 time. That means 1 spell. For every iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is completely executing. For every iteration, if you observe the iteration 1, the inner loop is executed up to its range, up to its validity of the condition. The inner loop condition is j is equal to 1 and j less than or equals to 3. That's why the inner loop is repeatedly executing 3 times. For every iteration, it is executing 3 times. This is the use of nested loops. One more time, we will execute the same program. We will check. We will write here CLR to clear the screen. We use this. Now \n for getting the new line. Okay, save the program, compile the program. We got one error. We did a mistake somewhere else. Int declaration is not allowed here. We did some mistake. Wait, we'll check. And CLR alt F, compile the program. Okay, run the program. Okay, see the output. Yes, now it is very clear. I am in outer loop iteration 1. The first it enter into the outer loop. In the outer loop again the for loop is there. Completely the inner for loop is executed 1 time. First iteration. In the second iteration also the inner for loop executed completely 3 times. In the third iteration, the inner for loop executed 3 times. I am in inner loop j equal to 1 first iteration, j equal to 2 that is the second iteration of the inner for loop, j equal to 3 that is the third iteration of the inner for loop. For every iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is executing completely. possible iterations. For every iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is executing completely as per the condition. Possible iterations it is executing based on the condition. Here in our program we mentioned 3. Here this is the our program inner for loop. For j is equal to 1, j value is assigned 1 and the condition is j less than or equal to 3, j plus plus. J value is started from 1 and incremented by 1 for every iteration and up to 3 times. Up to 3 only it executes the inner for loop. Coming to the outer for loop, I value is 1, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus, I incremented by 1. That's why this for loop is executing 5 times. Outer for loop is executing 5 times, inner for loop is executing 3 times. For understanding purpose, we are using this program, we are analyzing this program. For every iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is completely executing its loop. For every iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop is completely executing its statements until the condition is becomes false. This is the nested for loop concept. If you write the loops individually, these two for loops are wrote individually, what happened? We will get the for loop, first for loop will execute 5 times, second for loop will execute 3 times only. But in this case, what happened? The inner for loop is executed 5 sets of time, 5 times. Here, if you count the outer for loop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, inner for loop 3 times, and inside the outer for loop, that's why it is executing 3 into 5 is 3, 5 is 15 times it is executing. We will see, we will make a small change for this program. Now I am removing this program, this for loop from the now we will do a small change for our program. Now I am removing the inner for loop and I will write this is the loop, one loop. Now this is the one more loop. If you wrote these loops separately, if you execute the same code, I am executing these two for loops separately. What is the output we will see. Here for loop, first for loop, the range, here I value is 1 and the I less than or equals to 5. The first for loop will execute 5 times. The second for loop will execute 3 times. Okay. Now we'll save the program, compile the program. Now run the program, Control plus F9, program executed. Now we'll see the output on the user screen. here. If you observe the previous, if you compare the previous output and this present output, in the second program, after doing the modification to our program, we separated the two loops. I removed the inner for loop from the loop and I wrote separately. First loop, first for loop, it executed continuously 5 times. After completing the first for loop, it executed the second for loop 3 times. In case of nested for loop, what happened? The outer loop is executed in the first iteration, the for loop is there. The inner for loop is executed completely 3 times. After completing that inner for loop, it completes the first round of the outer for loop. Then the control passes to beginning of the outer for loop. The outer for loop executed inside the outer for loop. The for loop is there, inner for loop. The inner for loop executed 3 times. This is happened in the nested for loop. Now you got an idea how the nested for loop is executing. The output, the result you understand. This output is without using the nested for loop. We are writing the for loops sequentially. This is the sequential loops output. If you write the two loops sequentially, this is the output. If you write the output, if you write the loops nested, then the output will, this is the, I am inserting the loop inside the loop. I am writing the loop inside the loop. If you write the loop inside the loop, then the output will be like this. We will see the output. This is the output. The inner loop is executing repeatedly 5 times because the outer loop is executing 5 times. The inner loop is inside the outer loop. This is the nested loops. Now I am closing this compiler. We will see one more example program. This is the one more program, simple program using the nested loop. Here hash include stdio.h main function declaring the int integer variables I and j for loop. For altering variable, we are using the I for the first loop. For the second for loop, we are using the j. This is the inner for loop. For j is equal to 1, j less than or equals to I, j plus plus, print percentage d, j. This is the inner for loop. This is the outer for loop. Now we will execute the same program on the compiler and we will check the output. The expected output is this one. The expected output 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 like a number triangle. You will see that one. Open the compiler. New file. type the program hash include stdio dot h main, the beginning of the C program, int I comma j, declaring the variables, integer variables. For loop for I is equal to 1 semicolon I less than or equals to 5. To repeat the loop 5 times, we are using the condition I less than or equals to 5. I plus plus, this is the incrementing the variable I. Inside the loop we are writing the printf double quotes backslash n. To get new line we are using this one. For j is equal to 1 semicolon j less than or equals to I. Here we are not using the constant, we are using the variable in this conditional expression. J plus plus, this is the thing, this is the incrementing printf. In this inner for loop we are going to print the value percentage d double quotes comma j. This is the program. Now we'll print the, we'll see the output. Okay, now save the program. The nested 2.c. Now compile the program, alt plus F9. There are 3 errors. We did lot of mistakes. We'll see. Statement missing. We missed one statement. So we'll see that after the printf we forgot the semicolon. Save the program, compile the program. Now compilation is successful, 0 errors. Now run the program. Yes, program executed. We will see the output on the user screen. Yes, 1 2 3 1 first line, 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. The inner for loop is first time executed one time because I value is 1. Second time the I value is incremented to 2. The inner for loop is executed 2 times and it prints I value, j value 1 and 2. Third time I value becomes 3. The inner for loop executed 3 times. It prints the j value 1 2 3. Fourth time, in the fourth iteration, the I value becomes 4. In the condition, inner for loop condition, we wrote j less than or equals to I. The I value is 4. That's why the inner for loop is repeatedly executed 4 times. It prints the j value 4 1 2 3 4. In the fifth iteration I value becomes 5. The inner for loop executed 5 times because in the condition we wrote j less than or equals to I. Yet in the fifth iteration I value is 5. That's why the j value is from the 1 to 5th. The inner for loop is executed 1 j value 1 2 3 4 5. That's why it is executed 5 times. This is the program to print a triangle using the numbers. For example, if you change this I value as a 5, what happened? We will check. What is the result you are guessing? Whether it prints a triangle? It's print a triangle or not? No. We will see the output. Compile the program. Run the program. Yes, see the output. It's printed 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 5 iterations. It printed 1 2 3 4 5 because in the inner for loop we changed the j in the condition. We modified, instead of I we wrote 5. That's why the inner for loop is executing 5 times for every iteration of the outer for loop. This is the change. Now save the program, run the program. Now we'll see the output. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. This is the previous output. So while you are writing the C program, you must use your brains. You concentrate on the programs and the logics. Learn the logics. This is very important. Here only one single character changed in this program. Instead of I put digit 5. Then the entire output is changed. So what I am saying, while you are writing the programs, be cautious. Concentrate on the program and learn the logics. Now I am closing this compiler. We will see one more program on the nested loops. All of you know we practiced the prime number in the previous sessions. We practiced how to check whether a given number is prime or not. If the entered number is prime, we will print it is a prime number. If it is not a prime, we will print it is a composite number. Now in this program, we are going to print the prime numbers from 1 to n. Between 1 to n, there are n number of prime numbers are there. We are going to print the 1 to n prime numbers. The logic, you know how to find a prime number. The prime number is a number divisible with a number is divisible with 1 and itself is called a prime number. Now we are trying to print the prime numbers between 1 to n. Here the simple logic, the same logic is used, but we will check the numbers from 1 to n numbers. If while you are checking by using the loop, we will check the numbers 1 to n numbers. Whenever we will find we got a prime number, we will print that number. Otherwise, we'll skip and we'll go on. The process is repeated until the n times. This is the program. Go through the program. Hash include stdio.h header file, int main, it is the beginning of the C program, int I comma j comma end comma is prime. These four integer variables are declared for our future program purpose. Printf, this printf is used to seeking to enter the number range. Find prime numbers between 1 to where. Then user will respond and he will enter from 1 to 100. Scanf function is used to read the data and that number is stored in the end integer variable. After reading the number, we must print the prime numbers. If the user entered 100, he want to know the prime numbers from 1 to 100. In between 1 to 100, he will enter the prime number range we given, starting range we given 1. He will give the end range 100. Then printf prime numbers between 1 to 100 are, then the logic is started here. For I equal to 2, 1 is not a prime number. The prime numbers are started from 2. That's why I equal to 2. I less than or equal to end. This is the condition. We must repeat the loop until the end of the number, until the 100. That's why we are using the condition I less than or equals to end. I plus plus, here the variable flag variable is we are using is prime equal to 1. Is prime variable assigned as 1. The inner for loop is started for j equal to 2, j less than or equals to I division 2, semicolon j plus plus. This is the inner for loop. Please recall your memory. In the last sessions, we practiced the primary number. How to find the primary number. The same logic is we wrote here. The same loop is we wrote here. To find out the given number is prime or not, we used this logic. We perform the division operations up to half of the number by 2. If the number is divisible with any one of the number, then we will exit from the loop and we conclude as a composite number. So same logic is here we used. If the I modulo of j equals to 0, is prime becomes 0 and break. This is the ring. This loop is repeated whether it is a prime number or not to find out. If it is a prime number, by using the if else control statement, if is prime equals to 1, then we will print that number is a prime. Otherwise, we doesn't print. The control passes to the end of the for loop. The number is incremented again. It will take, first time it will take 2. It checks whether it is a prime number or not by using the inner for loop. If it is a prime number, it prints. After completing the 2, it goes to the outer for loop. The I value is incremented to 3. It checks whether 3 is a prime number or not in the inner for loop. It is a prime number, so it prints. After that, the control passes to the outer for loop. I value is incremented to 4. 3 is incremented by 1. It becomes 4. Now the 4 will be checked in the inner for loop whether it is a prime number or not. It is not a prime number, so it ignores. It doesn't print anything on the screen. Just ignores and it goes back to the beginning of the outer for loop. It increments the I value by 1. Now I value become 5. It checks whether the 5 is a prime number or not. Yes, 5 is a prime number. It prints on the screen. Again control passes to the beginning of the outer loop. The I value is incremented by 1. It checks whether it is a prime number or not in the inner loop. The prime number logic is wrote in the inner for loop. I value is 6. The 6 is not a prime number. It comes out of the inner for loop and it doesn't print anything on the screen. It passes to the outer for loop. Now I value incremented by 1. Now I value is 7. The 7 is checked whether it is a prime number or not in the inner for loop. It is not, it is a prime number. So it prints on the screen. This process is repeated until the user entered number reaches the outer for loop. In the end value 100 is there. The outer for loop is repeated until the I value becomes 101. Whenever I value becomes 101, it exits from the outer loop and it completes the execution of the program. This is the output. Find prime numbers between 1 to. The user will enter 100. Then the program will execute it and it gives the output. All prime numbers between 1 to 100 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, etc. up to 97. These are the prime numbers in between 1 to 100. In this program we are using the two loops. This inside the for loop we are writing one more for loop. This is the nested loops. Up to now we discussed what is the nested loops and the syntax of the nested loop, and we practiced some examples on the nested loop. These are the some questions. In the following, which one is nested loop? You see the options: A, option B, option C. Which one is the nested loop? If you observe the A option, two for loops are there. Inside the for loop, again one more for loop is written. B, only one for loop is there. C, none. Writing the loops inside a loop is called the nested loops. That's why A is the correct answer. What is the output of the following input? Here some sample code is there. Int main int I j k for I equal to 1, I less than or equals to 4, I plus plus, printf. Just now we practiced this program to print the triangle with numbers. The answer is A. Here we are printing the numbers right angle triangle. The C option is same. We are seeing the same output, but it is not a right angle triangle. It is a equal triangle. A is the correct answer. Thank you.